The rain had been falling since before dawn, the steady, whispering kind that coated the windows of their two-story craftsman home in North Seattle with thin, trembling streaks. Michael Collins stood at the kitchen sink, mug in hand, staring out into the slick gray morning as steam curled from his coffee. The house was quiet, too quiet, he thought. Usually, by this time, Emily would be downstairs humming something under her breath, a habit she'd picked up years ago, old pop songs from college or soft, wordless melodies that drifted through the house like warm breeze. But now, she had stopped humming altogether. It was one of the first things he noticed. The second was her phone. She had never cared much about it before, she used to leave it wherever she dropped it, kitchen counters, coffee table, the bathroom sink. But now, it stayed close. Always face down. Screen locked. Notifications mysteriously silenced. Michael took a slow breath, let it out. He wasn't the paranoid type. He was 43 years old, a high school English teacher, a steady man, measured in his emotions and his expectations. He believed in order, in reason, in assuming the best of the person you love. He believed, up until recently, that he and Emily were safe. Stable. Maybe not thrilling like they'd been in their 20s, when they used to drive out to the ocean at midnight just to listen to the waves in the dark, but safe. Comfortable. Reliable. But something was wrong now. He heard footsteps upstairs, Emily walking, then stopping, then walking again, as though pacing. She'd gotten up even earlier than he had. He took a sip of coffee and waited. When she finally came down the stairs, she moved carefully, like a dancer trying not to creak the old wooden steps. She was dressed nice, too nice for a normal Wednesday at her office job downtown. Makeup done. Hair curled. Perfume, something floral, expensive. Michael felt something twist in his gut. "Morning," she said, smiling, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. "Morning," he answered. She crossed the kitchen with a practiced calm and poured herself coffee. Her hand was steady. Her breathing even. Not nervous. Not guilty. Not anything. He watched her. "You're up early," he said. "Big meeting," she replied quickly. The answer came too fast, already loaded. "Yeah." "Who with?" She stirred her coffee. Stirred too long. Stared into the mug as if it were a script she had forgotten. "Just, a client. A potential investor actually." "Ah." Michael nodded once. Silence thickened like fog. She didn't ask about his plans for the day. Didn't ask about the lesson he was preparing. Didn't ask about anything. She glanced at her phone. The screen lit up. She turned it over instantly. Michael noticed the movement. She noticed that he noticed. Their eyes met. Emily smiled again, this time smaller, strained. "I should go. Traffic'll be bad." He stepped aside so she could reach the door. She hesitated, as if she were about to say something. But she didn't. She just opened the door, stepped outside, and disappeared into the pale morning. The door clicked shut. Michael exhaled. The house felt enormous in her absence. He sat down at the table and thought. Thought about the last few months. About small behavior shifts. About late nights at the office. About her phone always on silent. About how she had started wearing new clothes, little things at first, a new blouse, new earrings, a coat he'd never seen before. Then she began going to the gym after work again, not the one nearby where they used to have membership together, but one across town, a trendy, upscale place that required a different kind of money. Money she didn't explain spending. Michael wasn't a fool. But he also wasn't ready to accuse his wife of betrayal over a pattern of shadows and silence. He needed time. He needed clarity. He needed proof, not because he wanted to punish her, but because he needed to believe what he was feeling, what he feared. He took another sip of coffee, though it had gone cold. The rain kept falling. It was Friday afternoon when the first undeniable crack formed. Emily had left her laptop open while she showered. That alone was unusual, she normally shut it closed the moment she stepped away from it now. Michael was walking past the bedroom when the notification sounded, a ping, soft but sharp against the silence of the house. He wasn't snooping. He wasn't. But he stopped in the doorway. The message preview glowed on the screen. Alex, I had a great time last night. When can I see you again? The world seemed to tilt. Michael didn't breathe. Didn't blink. The message sat there like a knife. Alex. He knew one Alex. The one Emily had mentioned once or twice. A new consultant at her firm. You'd like him, she had said casually. He's sharp. Intelligent. Very driven. Michael felt something tighten in his chest, not pain, not quite, but something colder, darker. He didn't touch the laptop. Didn't scroll. Didn't dig. He backed away from it, because some part of him still clung to the desperate, quiet hope that there was another explanation. But the truth was already alive inside him. It pulsed. Heavy. Real. When Emily came out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her hair, she saw Michael sitting on the edge of the bed, hands clasped between his knees. She paused. Hey, she said softly. You okay? He looked up at her. Her face was beautiful in the soft afternoon light. Familiar. A face he had loved for 15 years. A face he thought he knew like the back of his own hand. But now there were new shadows in it. New secrets behind the eyes. I'm fine, he said. The lie tasted like ash. She smiled, gentle, practiced. Good. I'm going to grab coffee with some girls from work. I'll be back by dinner. Girls from work. Not Alex. Of course. She walked to the closet, dressed quickly, applying perfume again, the same one from that morning. Michael watched her leave. He didn't say a word. The door closed. Silence followed like a ghost. The next morning, Michael woke up before his alarm. He lay on his back, staring up at the bedroom ceiling, listening to the distant hum of rain guttering off the roof. Emily was still asleep beside him, her breathing slow and steady. Peaceful. Innocent. He studied her face. He found no betrayal there. No guilt. Just the woman he loved. Love was cruel that way. He quietly slid out of bed and moved downstairs. The house was dim, the early winter light in Seattle was always hesitant, the sun reluctant to commit. He brewed coffee, but didn't drink it. He needed to know. Not guess. Not fear. No. He sat at the kitchen table and did something he had never imagined doing. He opened his laptop and searched for a private investigator. He found one quickly. A small agency in Fremont. Good reviews. Discreet. His finger hovered over the phone icon. But he didn't press. He closed the laptop. If he did this, there was no going back. No pretending he didn't know. No waiting for things to get better. Truth, once opened, did not close again. He would try one more way first. He would follow her, just once. Emily came downstairs around 7:30, dressed for work. She kissed Michael lightly on the cheek. Quick. Passing. Not lingering. Have a good day, she said. You too. He watched her walk out the door. Then he waited exactly 4 minutes. He grabbed his keys, took his old Navy Honda, and pulled out of the driveway. The streets were slick with rain, morning traffic crawled south toward downtown. He kept 2 cars behind her silver Subaru, never letting her see him in the mirrors. He had never imagined himself doing something like this. He felt like an actor in a life he didn't recognize. But he followed anyway. Her route was normal at first, down I-5, toward the office towers near Pioneer Square. But then, at the last moment, she took the exit for Capitol Hill. Not downtown. Not her office. Not anywhere she had any reason to be. Michael's stomach tightened. She drove into a street of old brick buildings and coffeehouses with hand-painted signs, Seattle's Arts District, eclectic, stylish, and youthful. She parked in front of a cafe with floor-to-ceiling windows and tastefully dim lighting. Michael circled the block, parked where he could see the entrance. He watched. 2 minutes passed. Then another. Then the door opened. Emily stepped out of the coffee shop, but not alone. A man followed her. Tall. Sharp suit. Clean beard. Confident posture. He didn't have to guess the name. They didn't kiss. They didn't touch. But they didn't need to. The closeness between them was visible in the way they stood, just a breath too close, leaning toward each other, heads tilted like two halves of a secret. Like lovers who had already crossed the line and no longer needed to pretend otherwise. Michael gripped the steering wheel until his knuckles whitened. He could leave right now. Drive away. Pretend he never saw. But something inside him, something deep and old and primal, refused. He watched. They talked softly. Emily laughed, a sound Michael hadn't heard from her in months. A bright, unguarded laugh that used to belong to him. Then Alex reached out. Just lightly. His fingers brushed her wrist. Not a grab. Not a caress. Just enough. Emily didn't pull away. Michael felt something crack in his chest, small but sharp, like a hairline fracture that spreads and spreads and spreads. Alex said something. Emily smiled softly. They walked together down the street, shoulder to shoulder, as though the world had made room for only two people. Michael closed his eyes. He had seen enough. That evening, Emily came home at her usual time. She moved through the house with practiced normalcy, like everything was fine. Michael watched her from the kitchen doorway as she changed into sweatpants and pulled her hair up. She hummed again, for the first time in weeks. Of course she hummed. She had already seen him. He waited until she was sitting on the couch scrolling her phone. "Emily," he said quietly. She looked up. "Yeah." He swallowed. "Who is Alex?" The question landed like glass shattering on tile. Emily's body stilled. Her fingers stopped. Her breath caught in her throat. She didn't answer. Michael stepped closer. "I saw you with him today." She closed her eyes. Slowly. Painfully. As if bracing for something heavy. When she opened them again, tears were already forming. "Michael," she whispered. Just his name. No excuse. No denial. Because there was none. His voice came out quiet. Too quiet. Not angry. Not yelling. Just broken. "How long?" Emily's lips trembled. 3 months. 3 months. Not a mistake. Not a moment. A relationship. Michael felt the floor drop out beneath him. "Do you love him?" he asked. Silence. That silence was the answer. Emily's tears slipped down her cheeks. Michael exhaled, a shaky, disbelieving sound. "So that's it," he said, voice barely audible. "All these years. Everything we built." Emily covered her face with her hands and sobbed, real, raw, ugly grief. But grief didn't undo betrayal. Michael stood there, staring at the woman he had loved for 15 years, feeling something inside him fade, dim, extinguish. A long, final falling away. He turned and walked upstairs. He did not look back. Michael didn't sleep that night. He lay awake in the dark, listening to the quiet house. Emily slept on the couch downstairs. Not because he asked her to, because she knew. Because something irrevocable had changed between them. Because there was no pretending anymore. The rain hadn't stopped. It drummed on the roof steadily, a dull, continuous heartbeat that filled the silence. Around 6 a.m., Michael quietly got out of bed and went downstairs. Emily was awake. She sat curled in a blanket, knees drawn to her chest, eyes bloodshot and exhausted. Like someone who had cried herself empty and didn't know what to do next. When she saw him, she didn't try to speak. She just looked at him, waiting. Michael sat in the armchair across from her. They were only 6 feet apart, but it felt like an unmendable distance. His voice was steady. Too steady. Tell me why. She blinked slowly, like she had expected anger, but the calm was worse. I don't know how to explain it, she whispered. I wasn't looking for anything. I didn't wake up one day wanting someone else. It just happened slowly. I started feeling invisible. Like I was fading out of my own life. And then. He noticed you, Michael finished. Emily closed her eyes. Yes. He nodded once. You could have told me you felt that way. I know, she whispered. I know I should have. I was scared. I thought if I said it out loud, then it would mean something was wrong with us. And I didn't want that to be true. But you made it true, Michael said. Emily's breath broke again, but he didn't reach for her. He didn't offer comfort. He simply waited. He made me feel, she tried, voice shaking, alive again. Like someone saw me. Really saw me. Michael looked at her for a long moment. I saw you, he said quietly. Maybe not perfectly. Maybe not always the right way. But I've been here every day. I didn't disappear. Emily stared back at him, tears pooling again, but something in her face shifted. Realization. Regret. Too late. Michael took a slow breath. I'm not going to fight for this, he said. I don't want to fix something you already gave to someone else. Emily shook her head desperately. No, no, that's not, Michael, please. He raised a hand, firm, final. I'm not angry, he said. I thought I would be. I thought I'd break something, or scream, or fall apart. But I'm just done. Emily's breath hitched. Please don't say that, she whispered, voice cracking. Please don't just give up on us. He looked at her with tired, hollow eyes. You gave up first. Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Michael stood. I'll stay with my brother in Tacoma for a while. I'll come back to get my things during the week. Emily stared at him, pale and shaking. Michael, please, just talk to me, just give me a chance to explain everything, not just the affair, but why, what I was going through, how I felt inside. I did talk, he said. For years. I talked when things felt off. I tried when you pulled away. I waited when you stopped touching me. I asked what was wrong when you started sleeping further from me. You didn't listen. You wanted something exciting. Something new. His voice did not tremble. It was quiet. Final. And now you have it. Emily broke. She sobbed, not pretty tears, not soft sorrow. Real grief. Deep, guttural, body-racking grief. The kind that came when a person finally understood the cost. Michael didn't look away. He didn't approach. He simply picked up his coat. Goodbye, Emily. He walked toward the door. Her voice followed him, raw, small, desperate. Michael, please don't go. I still love you. He paused at the threshold. He didn't turn around. I loved you enough for both of us, he said. But that wasn't enough for you. He stepped outside. Closed the door behind him. The rain swallowed the sound. Michael drove south. The highway blurred in the rain, wipers working in steady rhythm. His mind was quiet, not empty, but quiet in a way he hadn't felt in months. The kind of quiet that comes after a storm finally breaks. He didn't cry. Not then. Not in the car. He had cried long before the truth ever came. His phone buzzed once. Then again. Then again. He didn't look. Halfway to Tacoma, he pulled off to a rest stop overlooking the sound. The water below was dark steel, churning under the gray sky. He finally let himself breathe. Not deeply, just honestly. And then the tears came. Slow at first. Then hard. But they weren't the tears of a man who wanted her back. They were the tears of a man finally letting go. Back in Seattle, Emily sat alone on the living room floor, surrounded by the life they had built together. The home they chose. The memories they made. The love she once believed was unbreakable. The air around her felt colder than the rain outside. She picked up her phone. Not to call Alex. Not to message him. She blocked his number. Because she knew, finally, painfully, that whatever she had been searching for in him, it had never been worth what she lost. She had traded a moment of feeling alive. For the slow death of everything real. And there was no way back. No dramatic reunion. No forgiveness. No, maybe someday. Just the quiet, heavy truth. Some endings don't come with closure. Some endings are simply endings. And life moves forward. Even after love dies.